Hello and welcome to another episode of FCC. Nick here, as always, with my co-host Cody.
Hey guys, and for the reference, it's FCC Fan TV. He just left off the Fan
Did
TV.
I really?
We are not the club.
Whatever. We are FCC. We're the heartbeat and soul of this franchise.
That's right. All right, so we got New England coming up Saturday, 3 p.m. match.
The biggest game at that time
Well,
slot.
yeah. Uh, okay, we're gonna lead right into this. Nick, your boy, one of your favorite players in MLS, the guy that's gonna be the center of both teams essentially. One's gonna be center on offense, the other one's gonna be trying to stop him. Carles Gil, let's go for it.
Yes. For anyone that doesn't know who Carles Gil is, pretty much, as Cody said, as of currently, best, we'll say at least, attacking midfielder in MLS. Leads MLS in big chances created, 4 assists right now, free kick
Key passes.
extraordinaire, key passes. Anything you want out of your attacking midfielder, Carles Gil is going to do. And he's the heartbeat of this Revolution team and was just rewarded this week with a 3-year extension. I mean, I could rave probably for an hour about just watching him with the ball. He does, like, just for our fans' reference, imagine watching Lucho and then just like amplify that by probably at least 5, maybe 10. Like,
Yeah, and it's not even an insult to Lucho, it's just how good Carlos Gil is. So that's actually a perfect comparison. If you're watching FC Cincinnati and you've never really watched the Revolution play in the past, it's really only been this season. He had injury problems last year. Um, Imagine every time Lucho gets the ball and how excited you get and anything could happen. And once again, this is not an insult to Lucho, but then imagining something happening after that. And you pretty much got what Carlos Gil is.
yeah, it's just, man, he does everything. Especially, let's roll into this one when he lines up at the top of the 4-2-3-1, underneath, not completely on top, but underneath Busquets or Bo, who we'll touch on later. He has the freedom to roam, and I think that's how they'll line up here. We had that on one of our notes. Their other formation, we say they do the 4-4-2, and he starts outside. If they come out in that one, that's kind of a tiny victory already for us. I think anytime, I don't know why Bruce Arena, he's kind of gone away from it the last 3 or 4 games they've been in the 4-2-3-1, and Carlos Gil just is free to go find the game. It's just kind of exactly, like I said, keep comparing it to Lucho, but how Lucho does this, man, it's just,
And
he's a joy
and I
to
think they've
watch.
lined up They've lined up more in the 4-4-2 and teams that they are more afraid of offensively. Like I believe they lined up that way against Atlanta. I'd have to check that again. They have no reason to do that against us, so we can almost guarantee it'll be a 4-2-3-1 coming at us. Um, yeah, with Carlos Gil in the middle. And the interesting thing is the one at the top. They they have two strikers they can throw out there any game they want, and when they have the 4-4-2, they throw them both up there. So that's Gustavo Bao and Adam Busca.
Yeah,
Busca.
we'll flip over here to
Busca.
the Revs MLS page. Yeah, we talked about that.
The K is before the S, so it's
Bukska. Bukska?
Buska.
Yeah,
Busca.
Bukska.
He's Polish,
Yes.
so
He's got 3 goals.
actually makes
Gustavo
complete sense.
Subsabu has 2 goals and 2 assists. Like, those two guys, either at this point, either one that's in is giving them crazy production, and we'll probably see both for some partial of the
Yeah,
minutes. And one
actually,
usually doesn't.
most
Actually,
games
one
where
usually does not come out for the other, depending on what they're looking for. One will come in and then they'll switch into that 4-4-2, especially if they're just trying to. They did against Red Bulls, just trying to put them away because, well, Red Bull went down to 10 men after Reyes had probably the wildest 30 minutes of soccer by a defender. Goal, body checked someone and dented a stand, and then picked up another yellow card to get tossed from the game. So, but then they just came out and Heel actually had, or not Heel, Gustavo Bo had the assist for Buxa's goal in that game, Buxa. And frankly, they're
yeah,
top to
you
bottom.
want to put the S before the
Yeah, I
K.
can't. Yeah, it's
I keep doing the same thing, like just because we're American,
yeah.
we just want to put that. Busca makes more sense, but it's Bus, but I don't
Yeah.
know, Buxka. I'll see how Tommy G pronounces it this weekend.
I'm gonna pull up the lineup from that Red Bull game because I assume this is kind of gonna be pretty similar to what I expect if it ever is gonna load. At least how they'll start. Matt Turner, analytics, MLS analytics, darling in goal. One of the best shot stoppers in MLS. He's obviously going to be back there.
If not the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably up there with him or, I mean, Andre Blake, MLS goalkeeper of the year last year. Either one of those guys. But yeah, if you tell me Matt Turner's the best shot stopper in the league, I'm not going to really argue with you. It's semantics at that kind of point. The defensive line's been a little interchangeable this year. Bruce Arena's really good at just getting performances out of the bottom of his roster, so he kind of rotates this a lot. The one kind of constant here is Farrell at center back. A lot of it, he's part of the start of the year with Henry Kessler. I think it's Henry. At the beginning of the year, he's kind of like a more young American, younger player, and he's kind of been sitting for Bell. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kessler in there. Like, this one's kind of there. Brandon Bye's actually been really good from that right back spot. Pretty much what we want.
So is DeJuan Jones on the other side.
Yes,
their
MLS.
Their left and right backs have both been excellent this year.
He left. Jones played for Seattle, I want to say, last year. I think so.
I honestly don't know.
Either way, yeah, performing really well. Brandon Bye's pretty much what we'd want Joe Zhao to be. This is basically what we want our team to kind of look like.
Yes, that's correct.
Just actually doing it is kind of the best way to get it, because like 4-2-3-1, very similar to how we'll line up. They have the two shuttlers in midfield. Neither of these guys is really a 6 or an 8. They both kind of just do both the jobs. Heals the Acosta role. And Tajon Buchanan's actually been really dangerous on the wing. He's very good going 1v1 with anybody out there. So that could be an issue for either if he gets into space behind Matarrita or Joe Zhao. That's going to probably be a point I'll look at. If we're able to kind of contain him, I'll feel much better about this game, because obviously the way we keep talking about this, you don't really contain Carles Gil. You just hope his teammates don't finish, or you don't give him any free kicks near the edge of the box. And then this up here, like we said, Buxa, could be either one. Either's in pretty good form right now. So
that literally won't leave my mind until Saturday, until I hear someone else say it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then I realize how stupid I am.
Yep, it's kind of just how it is. Teal Bunbury sometimes slides up there at wing too, so instead of, I don't really that's the other thing. Bruce Arena, probably top 3 or 4 manager in MLS, if you want to say now or history. Just, he knows how to get solid performances out of players you may not be familiar with, or even big signings. Like I said, their roster's deep 1 to 20 pretty much. Even the supplemental spots are great. So anybody that's out here, I'm assuming is going to know their job and know how to do it well, has been coached well. So we'll give that edge. Kind of, I'm putting that, if we're going to do, and we can have some fun categories. We can go offense, defense, set pieces, and coach should be how we're going to rank teams that come in here for future.
Well, okay. It's interesting that you say that. So one of the points that I was going to bring up is that their scoring is so ridiculously balanced this year. They have 4 goals from open play, 2 from set pieces, 2 from counters, and 1 on a penalty. They'll come at you any way they can, and they're going to score the goal. They also take most of so this is the interesting thing about Carles Gil too. So he's playing in the center, but they like to attack from the sides and then just cut right in as soon as they can. And look who's there every time. It's Carles Gil.
I will say,
I'm scared.
It is very interesting. Outside of that Red Bull game, they've only, that's the first time they scored more than 2 on the season. They have been proven that they drop points on the road at Nashville, but we know how Nashville is at home, a very, very solid team that'll hit you on the counter.
That is their only loss this season, is to that Nashville match.
Yep, and then I'll flip back over here. I went to us, just kind of run through this. Actually, week 1 tied 2-2 to the Fire. Can't tell you what happened in that one. Fire.
Now, the other thing too is, and obviously I can't see what Nick's pulling up right now, so this is just me speaking, so it could be right in front of you guys. But Chicago and Nashville, the only times they've given up 2 goals. So on the flip side, on their defense, they've only given up 2 goals twice this season. And they've looked better and better as the season has gone on so far.
Yes, after that game in Nashville, I think these last 3, that's kind of where they stopped the 4-4-2, and these last 3 have been 4-2-3-1 against the Union, beat the Crew 1-0, and then beat New York Red Bulls 3-1. New York was down to 10 men for a lot of that game, so that's not really surprising. But taking points on the road at Philadelphia is a very good thing right now. The Union are probably my second strongest team in my thing. I don't know about points-wise where they actually are, because they have a lot of draws coming off CCL, but I've watched a lot of Union games, so going on the road there and taking points from them, very good. And then a 1-0 game against the Crew, which honestly, that game was kind of boring. I watched through some of the replay of that one. But, I mean, defending MLS champions, you take care of business at home 1-0 and keep them scoreless. Didn't let Zelarayan do what he can do after what he did to NYCFC this last week. So just a professional team up and down the roster. Honestly, not terribly excited for a potential win for us this week. I'm excited to watch this game. A lot of talented players will be out there, but I think we've got our work cut out for us.
Yeah. So perfect segue. Let's go into FC Cincinnati. I'm pretty sure we're both expecting the same formation as last week. I see no reason to change that from a win.
Yeah, so I would like some different wrinkles out of it, but I definitely expect kind of the 5-3-2 again, especially with Revolution coming to town. If this was someone maybe like the Fire or something, I could see us maybe slotting back into the 4-3-3, thinking we might control the tempo of the game a bit more. But I think New England's going to probably, if not have, maybe not the full majority of the possession, because they're not really like they definitely can have that possession, but they don't necessarily control it. They kind of get the ball when they force turnovers. Like they're not. I don't know. It's just kind of watching them. They don't really bunker, but they don't really just keep throwing bodies at you. They just
They play
yeah,
smart. They play smart
yeah.
soccer.
Like they'll let you have the ball. They'll let you turn it over, but then like they're not just willing to sit back too. So they kind of flow throughout the game. They'll press a little bit. They'll sit back when they need a break. Just man, they really can do everything, especially right now in the form they're in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you said 5-3-2. Last week was really a mix between 5-3-2 and 3-5-2. However you want to say it. It's a matter of Zhao and Matarrita pushing up, which that's kind of the game for me on Saturday. Is if we can successfully push the ball up, we should be okay. If we're on our heels, we're done for.
If they're on their heel, we're done for.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. So honestly, one thing I would like to see out of formation though, I don't like how defensively when it's shaped that Lucho's stuck out on the left, because I think it really hurt us when we won the ball. Maybe being able to sort of flip that around and counter. So I'm that's the wrinkle I'd want to see out of this, is how we get Lucho more involved in this, because just as we mentioned, when they play the 4-4-2 and put Heel out on the wing, they're not as dangerous just because they're cutting him off from the space and like pass to get the ball. Same thing happened to us. Lucho was out on the left, never really was able to kind of come in the middle. There wasn't as much space for him. So I'll be curious. And then I think we're kind of both maybe here curious to see who starts up top for us in this 5-3-2. After last week's performance, I think Locadia may have given himself a shot to start next to Brenner and see what happens. I would like to see it. I want to see if he can do it from the starting whistle instead of coming against tired legs. But I think those two paired together is very good. The only downfall there is then Ariel probably hits the bench unless we go to the sweet wrinkle we've been talking about that I've been stumping for. Then apparently Stom has maybe been suggested to at a press conference by Laurel Fowlers. Would it mentioned using wingers as wingbacks? Does Barrial potentially slide in there at the right wingback? Which, frankly, I would love to see. And my love for Man City, I've become a fan of giant inverted or just inverted fullbacks going wherever they please on the ball on record, but also saying, are we technical and sound enough positionally to pull that off? No. But that's what I'd prefer to see. But yeah, I think it'll still be Jal at right back. Locadia gets 60 minutes. Barrial comes in for the last 30.
Yeah. So there are two spots that I kind of was throwing up. Barrial Locadia, which is pretty much on everyone's mind what's going to happen up there. The other one is kind of going back to is it a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2? Do we have Stanko, or is it going to be a Hagland or Pedersen? That's that's not even really a debate thing. It's just like, I don't know. We'll see what happens Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a right or wrong choice there.
No, but I imagine, though, it would flip how this happens. So I assume if Pedersen's in, Gustavo Vicia slides over to that right center back. And then if Hagland's in, Vicia stays on the left. I think it depends on what kind of game they think we're going to have. I think if they want more, they think we're going to have possession and pass the ball, I'd assume it's Pedersen just because he is a little bit better with his feet at Hagland. But if they think we're going to be back on our heels a little bit, I'd expect Hagelin in there with Viasi and Cameron because I think those three would be much more defensively sound, clearing balls out of the air, trying to keep those crosses from heel from their forwards.
Yeah. So do you see Stanko slotting back in again like he did
I'm
last
not
week?
sure. So it was an interesting angle. I don't know. I listened to Talking Tactics with Coach Goff from the Cincy Soccer Talk, and they'd mentioned how Stanko may have started because later in the game against Montreal, we slid into that like 4-3-3, and Stanko went up into midfield, and we didn't actually have to make a sub to do it. So that was a very interesting thought. And then I went back and kind of rewatched from the minute they did, and we definitely kind of went into more of that midfield when we were chasing the game back to kind of that shape. So if Stom's trying to do something like that again and imagines maybe more of like a mid game switch, it might be Stanko again. Whether that was actually the game plan, I'm not sure. I didn't see anything confirmed from Stom in his press conference today, whether that he intentionally tried it that way or just thought Stanko would be solid there. I'd expect maybe if they try to do the Barrial at right wing back, you'd probably see Hagland again because I think you'd want an actual defender.
Defender
Yeah,
back
like
there. Yeah.
Stanko. I think Stanko might actually be slower than Hagland. Um, yeah, I don't know because I
Because
think they would.
Hagland's got the
Yeah, I
flow.
think they would do the same sort of job, honestly. And then if it comes down to it, Cameron and Viacia are both have played defensive mid at some point in their careers. So honestly, they might be the ones to step up into that role if we have Hagelin back there. I think they offer some flexibility. Obviously, Cameron in the center there has been amazing, putting out every tackle. So I don't really know if we compromise the back line, but if we're chasing it, why not? So I think those combinations of guys back there offer a lot of flexibility, which is kind of the only time you might have been able to say this about some of our lineups. Typically, like if a guy's in there, he's out of position. And the only reason it's flexible is maybe because you take someone else out. Where at this point, you don't really have
Yeah.
to take someone else out. You can just kind of rotate the players that are in. So I'll be curious to see. I'll definitely keep my eye out more for that if depending on game state and things like that, especially if we go down a goal or two, how we switch it up. I'd imagine we'd get out of the back five and start chasing. So it'll be definitely
Yeah.
a nice wrinkle to see. I think as long as the games within a goal or scoreless, we'll be in that back five with the wing backs and then see where it goes from there.
Yeah. All right. Score predictions. I'll have you go first this week.
Not feeling confident. I think it's gonna be 2-1, 2-1 Revolution, and I probably think it's probably a late goal from us, just kind of a last gasp. Oh boy, there's a shot for a draw. I just think the Revolution are in too good a form right now, and as long as Carles Gil's on the field, not feeling too great about this.
Okay. I'm fine with that answer. I still just kind of refuse to give us the loss, So I'm going 1-1 draw.
I'll take it. So factoring our score
Yeah.
lines, let's use our new sweet 4-point system here. Managerial advantage. Who do you?
Oh, Bruce.
Okay, offensive side of the ball.
New
All
England.
right, defensive side of the ball.
New England.
All right, and then special teams, set pieces.
They actually.
I'm gonna say push on that.
Okay.
One. Push.
I will go push because their offensive set pieces have just been kind of mediocre this year, but they haven't really given up anything on set pieces. Most of their goals they've given up, I think 5 of their 7 have been open play goals. I think one's only been a set piece. So yeah, I'm gonna go push because our set pieces have actually looked progressively better. And we haven't given up goals on them in the past 2 matches compared to how we looked in the first few. So yeah, I'll go push.
Yeah, I think.
So even though I gave New England like the win on everything else, I'm still going a 1-1 draw.
Hey man, if you can just
special teams matters.
Yeah, I think especially the way we've kind of started to do well on them offensively with the combination of Lucha and Moderita, whether we need to hit an in swinger or out swinger, just solid takers there. And luckily, Moderita and Cruz will still be here for this match before they leave for their national team. So that's a big plus for us because honestly, if those two were gone,
I might have had to predict a
yeah,
lot.
that'd have been. I'm not but they're not.
Maturates is still
But they're not
star of the year for us so far. So.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
yeah,
probably best move we've made so far until Brenner starts banging in, starts his Addy train, hat tricks every game.
Does that start this week? Does Brenner get going right before the international break, and then we just like hope it continues afterwards, and it doesn't. Like,
I
I feel like that's an FC Cincinnati thing to happen. Like, Brenner puts in a brace or a hat trick, and then it's like, oh, we're gonna be so good after this international break, and then like it just doesn't happen again afterwards.
actually what's going to happen over this. How many weeks do we have actually as a break? I didn't really look that up.
2.5, I think.
Okay. So you know what's really going to happen? Brendan and Licati are going to look kind of good together, and they're going to sneak something in next like Friday at like 4:59 that we actually triggered Licati as loan option and bought him for $8 million. So that's kind of the unfortunate thing of if he starts doing well, they're like, well, maybe it's because Licati is next to him. We'd have to buy him now. And
I think we have, including Saturday, I think we have 4 matches before his
yeah,
loan
his is end of
ends.
June. I did look that up after
Yeah.
me not being able to figure
So
it
we have
out.
this match June 19th, which I think is our next match, which is the next home match. And then I'm not here. I'll pull up a calendar before I just kind of keep
Right,
talking
where
away.
I'm at here. Why?
I believe it's 4. 3 for
Yeah,
certain.
so we have this match, and then our next one is June 19th versus Colorado. So
19th.
one,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4. Yep. Because then we have a midweek game at Chicago, and then we're at Toronto. So we can take points from Chicago, Colorado, and Toronto. I'm not as sold, but
But with the Locadia point is like, I expect if we want to trigger anything, if we're gonna make that, he's gonna have to do
yeah.
something in these
And I
next 4
just don't
matches.
think we will. Just it's too much money, too big of a fee, and Brighton's going to want to make too much money back to where we really won't be able to negotiate it down to like even if it was like a DP this year, TAM next year kind of deal. I'm not necessarily sure I'd be hating it, as long as it depends what other moves the front office has lined up, if any. I assume we'll
Yeah.
probably hear some rumors soon about someone. I assume another midfielder, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so he has matches. He has a few matches to show Brighton or us if whatever's worth it. If it's us worth buying it, I think Brighton wants to get rid of him
Yeah,
regardless at
if
this
if
point.
we
But
don't trigger it, I'm assuming Brighton's going to either just sell him for cheap somewhere else in Europe, probably back to the Eredivisie. I mean, might as well go back to the offensive league and rebuild some stock if you're audio.
yeah, yeah, because we've seen it's not like he doesn't have talent. I just don't know if it's us worth paying $8 million worth of
That
talent for
no,
it. So
like if we want to like give him Makoto's like $1 million, like pay him maybe. If he
sure,
brings the best,
I'd be fine with
honestly, if
that.
he brings the best out of Brenner and Brenner starts scoring, I'm like whatever, man. But that's kind of
Yeah,
a weird
eight
one.
million
If
dollars,
like Brenner
fine.
goes on a tear here with Lacadia next to him because he's like playing the ball out to him, I'd be like, it's gonna hurt. Like we're gonna do something stupid. Like, sports is
Yeah,
in our blood,
but you'd be okay with it at the same time,
right?
exactly. Uh,
Yeah.
so that would be nice. Honestly, that would be great. I really want to see we. It's not that Brenner's done anything poorly; he just hasn't done
Yeah,
anything.
and it's not, and I don't. Once
Yeah,
again, I don't really blame him. New league acclimation,
no,
one teammate who speaks Portuguese, and then we came in as the guy who profiled as being very good in the box, and we don't get the ball in the
we have to get the ball
box.
in the box first. Yeah. Um, okay, so we are on a 2 week break after this. So this will obviously be the last show of this week. Kind of putting you on the spot here. Since we are on a 2 week break, do we want to do maybe one episode each the next 2 weeks of the UN's
You
not the Union, the U.S. men's national team?
we could do a match recap, and then what? We play Switzerland Sunday before Nations League.
Yeah, so it's a tight turnaround. Yes, we do play Sunday in Switzerland.
Maybe, and then I believe the games are the 3rd and the 6th. So maybe we do match recap next
Yes.
week, and then in 2 weeks after the friendly and the 3rd and 6th games, instead of like a match recap, or what would that be? June 7th, we might do a U.S. men's national team focus, kind of just go over the matches. Maybe not any like screen snips or anything, but yeah,
Yeah,
I like
just
talking
talk about
U.S.
them.
man. I like talking soccer, so you can get me anywhere with that. But
Yeah,
yeah, that seems like a good schedule.
yeah. I mean, just we
I'm
have
not
we
excited
could take
that I
the
have to
2 weeks off, but
change
why?
the background here. I'll just slap a
Yeah,
I'll
that's
just
true.
slap a U.S. men's national team logo on. Actually, it's gonna be the
Yeah,
picture's just gonna be back.
just put Tim
I
Howard's
was gonna say
face.
Clint Dempsey, who is back for
Okay.
Nations League commentary. That I am very excited
Yes,
to
he is.
see. I love Deuce.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Deuce We just need him to suit up. He should unretire.
Yeah. I'm excited for our forwards for the men's national team coming into this nation leagues, but we'll talk about that in a few weeks.
All right. Well, Cody, then before we wrap this up, any other parting shots? Final thoughts?
No, just honestly, to me, the game kind of revolves around our forwards. Brunner, if it's Lacadia, then it's Lacadia. If it's Barrial, it's Barrial. They need to get it going with
Oh, yeah.
Brunner. This,
And then if we come
we
out in the 3-4-1-2, I'm just gonna put up a Twitter video of just me squealing. If it's Barrial, like the right back and everything, that's my personal dream now for this team after messing around on buildlineup.com too many times. What we need. Trust me.
yeah, no,
Hire me.
I'd like to see it.
I play FIFA for a living. And not even that. I
Yeah,
wonder what Fiddle's lineup would be for our team. We should I'm gonna tweet at him and be like, Fiddle, what's the ideal
yeah,
FC Cincinnati lineup? And don't give me any ultimate team player cards.
yeah. No
Yeah.
ultimate team, just the players we have.
Right.
All right. let's not go on a rant now again.
No, man, that's our signature at this
All right.
point. Off the rails at least twice. Once?
Yeah.
Twice.
But no, that's my only parting thought is the game revolves around our forwards. We know New England's going to be good. We know they're going to come in here and play their game. So we just need to get up and score and not completely rely on set pieces, which New England doesn't give up. So
Yeah, I'd be very excited to watch us actually have a lead and then probably blow it. But at least take that 1-0. And we led against Nashville, and then we did blow it. So, but we only drew there. So yeah, I think we need a lead. It'd be nice to play with the lead with like the actual team and see what they can actually do if they shut up, like shut up, shut. But like
I think it's just shut
yeah,
shop.
park the bus. Let's get back in a real
Okay.
bus. Drive the metro right in there. Just boop.
Yep.
This is a news.
Absolutely.
New stop. This goal. Actually, I will petition to have a metro stop on like Google Maps added in front of our goal if we somehow score in like the 5th minute and park the bus for this one. I'm gonna get on Google Earth and Maps and do some editing and just like add a bus stop like right in front of the goal.
That would be pretty good.
All right, I'm calling it there. I feel another tangent on something stupid coming up. So
Yeah.
Cody, you have a
I'm trying to resist the tangent.
I just love tangents. All right, Cody, you have a great evening. I'll talk to you after our draw.
That's my prediction.
We'll go with it then. Draw.
Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend.